Have you ever thought you could just tell a computer what you want and boom, it builds an app for you in a few hours? Sounds magical, right? Well, that's the whole idea behind vibe coding. It's this new thing where people, mostly non programmers, use large language models, basically AI that can generate text and even code, to create software without actually knowing how to code. At first glance, it seems like a dream come true. Anyone can launch a product, build a website, or make a simple app just by chatting with an AI. But here's the catch: this magic is mostly an illusion. The promise is instant progress, but the reality is often a tangled mess of code you barely understand, full of hidden risks and unexpected costs. And while it might be thrilling to see your idea come to life in hours, the underlying problems of building software, structure, scalability, security, don't magically disappear. So, why is vibe coding so tempting? Well, instant gratification is addictive. Imagine waking up and realizing you've created something that looks like an app, a game, or a website without touching a single line of traditional code. Social media only amplifies this feeling, with people proudly showing off their creations, likes and shares pouring in as if they've unlocked some secret power. There's a certain thrill in celebrating amateur success, the feeling of look what I can do like without having spent years mastering the craft. Early wins are common too. Small, toy scale apps often work just fine, which tricks you into thinking you're actually good at programming. But these wins are deceptive because they hide the growing complexity you'll face as your project expands. Now, here's where things get tricky. Vibe coding comes with hidden risks that many people overlook. For one, those cloud services you're using, they're not free forever, and suddenly that small project can rack up enormous bills overnight. Security is another nightmare. A simple app could be exploited, hacked, or misused without you even realizing it. And as your app grows, you'll notice something strange. The AI doesn't really remember what it did before. Every change, every tweak can rewrite your entire program, sometimes undoing fixes you already made. It's chaos, not progress, and merging or fixing these rewrites can quickly become overwhelming. So, why exactly do these AI tools fail when it comes to real software? Well, LLMs, large language models, are brilliant at generating text and code snippets, but they don't understand context the way humans do. They can't build on previous iterations intelligently. Imagine shooting arrows at a target. A few might land in the bullseye, but most will fly off in random directions. Traditional programming is more like carefully measuring your shots, adjusting each one based on past successes. Incremental development is a step by step process, and AI just doesn't do that reliably. It's a bit like trying to teach someone to paint by giving them random brushes and colors. They might make something interesting, but mastery? Not so much. This is what some people call the sorcerer's apprentice effect. Remember the story where the apprentice animates cleaning tools and then loses control over them? That's vibe coding in a nutshell. As projects grow, the AI keeps generating new code, often breaking what was already working. The system becomes unmanageable and the illusion of mastery fades. So you think you're in control, but the complexity spirals beyond comprehension. That's why so many amateur developers end up frustrated, overwhelmed, or worse, facing serious consequences like financial loss or security breaches. And there's a cultural side to all this too. Vibe coding encourages celebrating amateurism. People applaud themselves for creating something with minimal effort, which slowly shifts the programming community toward laziness and superficiality. It's like trusting an amateur dentist or electrician just because they watched a few YouTube tutorials. You might get lucky, but most of the time it's a disaster waiting to happen. Speed and surface level success are glorified over understanding and craftsmanship, and that mindset is dangerous if we want quality software to be built in the long term. So, can we actually tame AI for coding? There are some strategies like constraining AI iterations with fixed code diffs, imposing strict rules, or using neuro-symbolic approaches that combine reasoning with generative models. But even with these fixes, AI still struggles with predictable software delivery. It can help with small, well-defined tasks, but real applications require human judgment, stepwise planning, and problem-solving skills that AI alone just doesn't have. Looking back at programming history can also teach us a lot. Languages like Visual Basic, early Java, and C++ aim to democratize coding, making it easier for non-experts to build software. At first, they seemed amazing. Suddenly, anyone could create something. But over time, the simplicity often backfired, leading to bloated, messy systems that professional developers had to untangle. The same pattern repeats with vibe coding: hype, amateur adoption, and eventual professional critique. Understanding past mistakes can guide us in using AI intelligently without falling into the same traps. Philosophically speaking, programming isn't just about writing lines of code, it's about delivering real value. You can generate tons of code with an AI, but if it doesn't solve the problem efficiently, safely, or sustainably, what's the point? Incremental improvement requires understanding, thinking ahead, and being able to adapt intelligently, not just producing output. Vibe coding often tricks people into feeling productive while ignoring the deeper skills necessary for meaningful software development. So, what's the antidote? It's simple but profound. Treat AI as an assistant, not a replacement. Learn the fundamentals yourself, collaborate with experienced developers, and don't get caught up in celebrating superficial wins. Use AI to speed up small, repetitive tasks or brainstorm ideas, but always guide it with your judgment and knowledge. The goal is smarter, safer, and more sustainable software development, not just flashy demos that fall apart when complexity rises. At the end of the day, vibe coding is seductive, yes, but risky. AI has a role, but humans must steer the ship. If you want to be a true creator, mastery beats shortcuts every time. Remember, tools are only as good as the person using them, and nothing replaces understanding, discipline, and thoughtful iteration. So next time you feel tempted to just let an AI build your dream app, pause, think, and ask yourself, am I chasing real progress or just a vibe? Like, keep learning, stay curious, and don't settle for illusion over substance. You've got this.